Hello guys, glad to have you guys today in today's tutorial. Welcome to another segment on sewing machine. Today I'm going to be taking you on how to maintain your sewing machine and show you the tools to use in maintaining your sewing machine. Before I continue, like the video, turn on your notifications, subscribe, go to the comment section and ask your questions. We'll be there to attend to you, and then follow us on our Facebook, CuteLuks as well. So I will be going straight to the topic, so I won't be taking too much of our time, because this part is very important to your sewing machine, so you don't have your sewing machine break down all the time. Alright, first I'm going to be introducing you to the tools we use to maintain our sewing machine. Very important, the machine brush. We actually have the one we call the 1-inch brush. I don't have it here, and this is the 2 inches brush to use in cleaning up your sewing machine. Yes, I have my screwdriver here, the long one. At most we use this screwdriver to open our machine face when we want to clean up our machine. So you see, very easy. So you see, once you use this to open up your machine, then you clean it with your brush carefully. So you see, so that's why I said we need a screwdriver, we need our brush, we need the mini screwdriver as well. You can also use that to open up here. And then to maintain your, we have this one as well to open up for the machine teeth. And then that's it for the tools you need to maintain your sewing machine. And then I'm going to be showing you how to maintain the sewing machine. Just like I opened the face, I've taken my brush and I've cleaned out the face of the machine carefully, like I did. And then I'm going to take a lubricator. It's very important, like this place where we have to move up and down. You see, they need something to always make them very soft. And you see, and then I'm going to drop my oil carefully. Drop the lubricator here so it doesn't go dry. Can you see? And then I'm going to come to this angle as well and drop. I'll put this area as well. I'll do as well here and a little here so it doesn't get too soft. Then I'll come to this upside and drop my oil. You can see it's also going to run down here, so this is going to last staying inside of here. It's coming down here, and then I'm going to drop here as well. So you see, and then I'll come into this place and then I'll pass my oil inside of it, so that when it moves, you see, it'll be very flexible, and then I won't be having issues with my machine getting too stiff. And so I'll close this back, take the machine face and connect it back. Is either I'm using this screwdriver or I'm using this, and then I'll knot this back carefully. And then it's done. So that's it. And then when we have issues with our machine teeth, we need this screwdriver as well as this. So I'm going to be losing this out. I'll take off the prester foot knot off, take my prester foot off, and then I'm going to take this, because if I use this, I'll be battling with it around this area. Can you see? And even at this area, it's not going to be possible either. That's why we have this screwdriver. So you can see from this angle, I'm just going to lose this carefully and the knot aside. I'll come to this area, I'll lose this out. So you can see this guy is getting weak. For you to be able to maintain your sewing machine, you should always have a spare of this. When you see this in the market, don't worry, they're the same thing. You can see this ones also have stitch gauge around here to be able to maintain your stitch while you sew. You can see they're still the same thing. And then after doing that, I'll take this out. Voila, you can see dirty around here. So you see, This is a forest. You can actually find lions inside of this. So you should always clean this area, because the dust from your thread and your material always have their space in here. That's where this comes in. The machine brush, and then you brush this carefully and take the dust out, so you don't have your thread always caught in or material always getting stuck while you're sewing. And then some of the stubborn ones, feel free to take your screwdriver and clear them out, because even your 1-inch brush can't go into that space properly. So I'm going to clean this carefully, and then always make sure you have a spare of your jaw, of this machine teeth. Can you see? So when it's free like that, you need a spare to replace it, and then you need a spare as well for your pressed free. You can see I have 2 here. I always have a spare all the time. It's very important. You can see this one is still new, and I've been using this. So all these are very important. Now when you have it broken, you keep forcing it to sew, you notice it's damaging the material. Quickly change it so it doesn't destroy the material or make your work look very rough. Then around this angle for the teeth, for you to be able to change the teeth, this is a screwdriver for it. You can see I have 3 here that I'm using. I'm going to keep this aside. I'm going to be using this one to put through this. Can you see? Very easy the way it moved. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this off carefully and bring it out. Still not loose enough. Let me pull it out. And so this knot will be out. And then you open up this as well. You see. And then I'll take this out. So you see we also have dirt under here. I'm going to brush it out carefully. You see everything is neat now. And then I'm going to take my lubricator and oil here. Oil it carefully so it doesn't get dry. Drop my oil here. All this angle needs the oil. And then I'll take my brush and clean here carefully. Then I'll oil the teeth. Not so much. And then I return it back. Take the nuts. Don't put them one after the other. Put the both of them at once. If not, one will get too tight, get tighter than the other one. So I'll take the screwdriver. I'll balance this. Do the same here. In case you've never loosened your machine before this way, this is the idea, to lose it carefully. Can you see? One is looking tighter than this one. So you will lose this back and adjust it carefully inside, so it doesn't get too stubborn. And then remove it and do the same with this as well. You see, looking balanced. So for that angle, I'm done. I'm going to return this and clean it carefully. You can see it also has dirty of its own. And I'm going to return it back here. Clean here very well and return it. You take the screwdriver, clean it off well. Don't don't worry about messing up your hand. It's very important that you clean your machine and then you go clean up your hand. If your machine is faulty, it's not nice at all. So I'm going to connect this back instead of here, and then take my long screwdriver. Here we go. One. Then I'll come to this other side as well. Then I'll knot down carefully. Yes, this one is down. Then I'm going to do the same here. So that's it. When I'm sewing now, everything is going to be just flexible. You see, and cool. So in here, I'm going to take my lubricator as well. I'll drop it in here. If you find that you're battling with it, don't worry. Bring it out again. Move this away. I'm going to take this off to the side. And then yes, for you not to be having issues with your machine, try not to have these guys. These guys can destroy your machine. Can you see? All these tiny needles at the edge of your machine can spoil them. Can you see? This is not good for your machine. You should always take this off whenever you clean your machine. When you notice them, take them off before they damage your machine. 2, when you're sewing, make sure you don't have a thread that you're not using or a container of reeler on your machine. You might be sewing and the machine is moving and vibrating this. The next thing, it grabs the rope and moves into this and start reeling with it while you sew. Can you see? You start rolling with your machine, and before you know, it rolls with the down one and locks the machine, and that's where your machine starts having issues, which is not good. Like buttons that you're not using are not meant to be on your machine. They're likely to keep moving and hook somewhere on your machine and cause damage to the machine. Is not healthy for your machine at all. Things like that should not be kept on your machine. And then under here, I'm going to turn this so you see how to maintain this area. And you see, looking it, but still you still see some dirt around it. And you see, so we're going to be cleaning these areas carefully. They're very important to be cleaned. At most, the main brush you need for this is your 1-inch brush. Make sure you always have your 1-inch brush. It can enter so many places like here. Can you see? Where this cannot fully enter, the 1-inch brush will enter carefully. And then, after cleaning all this area, you take your lubricator and drop in here, here, all these moving areas. Little, not too much, so you don't start dripping. So drop here, and so all these areas. If you notice something, this machine is already oiled, but I just have to show you how to oil your machine so the machine doesn't break while you're working. So around this area, you drop your oil here, and then here, make sure you always have oil around this area, because you can see it's moving, so it doesn't have to be stiff. And then here, take the chamber clips off, and then take your oil around here so it stays very soft. Bring this out, the shuttle carrier, and then take your brush, clean it inside of it. It also has dirty, so you clean inside of it carefully, and then take your pieces and clean inside carefully. Yep. When you're done doing that, all those tiny dirt that you overlook, those are the things that puts problem on your machine and you'll not know. And then you take your oil and pass little inside of it, then to this angle. You see, you can also change this when this area is becoming too sharp. You see, when it's becoming too burn inside, you need to change it, as well as this blade here, you need to change it as well when it needs to be changed. And then let's make sure here is clean. So I'm going to return this. One thing you must know, anything steel needs to be properly lubricated. If not, they will not move well again. They'll start having issues. So I'm going to keep oiling the necessary parts. I'm going to oil here as well, in here. You see, that's it. So I'm going to be lifting this guy back this way, and to the upside you're going to oil here for the thread to enter the machine housing, because you and I can't see inside of this. No, you can't see it. And then we'll drop some oil inside of it. We'll do the same around here so it enters into this place, so it connects to the machine handrail. This is the main place we really need it. And then we'll come to the machine housing area, remove the screw, and then open the plate down, and then turn this way for your machine. And then take your brush. If it's dirty, that's why we need a 1 inch, like I said. Then you take it inside. You see, that's where our, can you see our control gauge, or you call it the stitch gauge? You can see it's moving inside. It's very important. So you take your oil and oil it properly so the control does not go weak, and then you oil it. Okay, alright, that's it. And I'm going to be closing this back. And so the machine is looking like a newborn baby again. So I'm going to knock this back and brush out this whole area with my brush so it looks very neat. And then lastly, I'm going to turn my machine this way and oil here where we have our wheel moving. Can you see? It needs to be a bit flexible. I'm going to drop my oil a little here, and that's all. So that you relax your machine back. So what I told you, any of all this can actually stop your machine from moving comfortably. So all this shouldn't be kept on your machine. And always make sure you have a spare needle, same as your oil, so you won't be having issues with your machine. Once your needle has the sharpened area is looking bent, kindly remove it quickly and then check it. If not, your material will be having cracks around it while you sew, or you might be having issues like this. Can you see? You might be having issues like this here. Can you see what's happening? This at most times happens with short-toe, or the reeler is not the size of the short-toe, or your needle is spoiled. So you need to change all those things. All this helps to maintain your machine. Whatever you know that is not good for your machine, change it immediately. Use your necessary tools and then change the parts that needs to be changed. So I'm going to fix my I'm going to fix my pressed foot back. And then around the terrace decks, I'm going to drop little oil so it doesn't get too dry. So you see, it's meant to go inside of it carefully. Yep. So it stays flexible. So guys, that's it on cleaning your machine and its housing. I'm going to go to the wheel area around this down part. I'm going to do this around here, not too much please, so this does not get spoiled, but sometimes it needs little oil. I've dropped my oil a little here, so when I'm sewing, my machine won't be singing song wiki wiki like so many of us have on our machine. We have our music playing telling us wiki 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 wikis. Very funny. And then I'll come to this area. You see what I'm telling you? See thread here? It's not supposed to be. Might damage your machine. It's not good at all. And so I'm going to come to this area and put my oil. See thread? It's not good to have your thread there. It's very bad. So you see, I just removed thread from that area and it's looking very dry. So I'm going to drop oil there. So you see. And I'm going to drop oil here as well. You see. And I'm going to drop oil here as well. Don't think because it's the leg of the machine does not deserve to be brushed. You can also brush this side as well. Oil all this place. So your machine always look new and neat. So that's it about maintaining and keeping your machine clean. Can you see how neat the machine is looking now? And then you clean it up real good. Everything will just be soft. Can you hear the sound? Just simple, very sweet. Doesn't make too much of noise when you are working because it's well lubricated. So guys, thank you for joining me in today's segment on how to sew and how to maintain your machine while you sew. I'll be having in our next class. Thank you for being in today's own, and don't forget to like this video because it's really useful. Like it, turn on your notifications, subscribe, drop your comment, and also follow us on our Facebook channel there. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye.